The owner of a Timaru panel beaters is calling time on his relationship with insurer IAG, whose brands in New Zealand include NZI, AMI, Lumley and State. In short, Hamish Gardyne claims IAG and its offshoots aren't paying enough. Indeed, the work costs more than the insurer is prepared to pay, he says. Work billed to the insurer has made up a third of his revenue, so it wasn't a decision taken lightly. But Hamish Gardyne said IAG have offered so little for some jobs, he either had to do the work at a loss or do it badly, and neither option appealed. Now, IAG dispute this. They wouldn't be interviewed, but sent us a statement, which we will read shortly. But Hamish Gardyne told me the money IAG will pay isn't worth the displeasure and hassle of dealing with them.
I guess the attitude and the relationship with the suppliers or the repairers is very poor. It's a very negative relationship where you fight for everything. You fight very hard to get your money out of them, and they're not really negotiable unless you've got them really backed into a corner. And I guess when it comes to sort of pricing or ways of doing things, not many repairers are ever in a position where they can truly, back them into a corner and reason with them. So, we actually have exited before new contracts have come out. So no one, as far as I would know, would be actually in contract with IAG now because they finished in September. But the whole attitude is very much that they are the supreme power and you very much bow to them and do as you're told.
Can you give me an example, a sort of straw that broke the camel's back example?
Well, basically, I've looked at other businesses that are into IAG and done a lot of numbers on them, and they look at it and they basically see it as being the lowest profit margin company to work with the highest level of administration and compliance. So the amount of hoops that have to be jumped through to sort of stay in IAG repair and to sort of keep up to the sort of standards you have to be is sort of incredibly expensive and time consuming. I think even to fill out the application to have a contract renewed took an employee in their business, I think, a full week to fill out. It's just insane what they have to ask and what you jump through for basically our lowest paying customer that we had,
A full week to renew an existing contract?
Well, to apply to have it renewed, and this was meant to have happened in September. We're in March now. We still don't have a new contract that was meant to come out, and they're talking another 3 months till a contract will be available. And I think the last contract update that came was basically it was a pay reduction disguised as a pay rise. They increased the rate, but then basically the time frames for doing jobs was reduced. So basically they're just crafty, and that, I guess like a lot of listed companies, they're Australian owned, which is never a good start, but they're also, it's a money making monster, a listed company. There's no emotion about it. They care about no one. It's just there purely to make profit. So I think premiums increase for consumers and the repairers get squeezed harder and harder, which, if you look at the cost of providing the repair service has only got more expensive, and that's why the industry is in such a bad state.
So the issue here is that there's an enormous amount of paperwork required, that they're very difficult to deal with, that even renewing a contract or applying to renew a contract is a hoop jumping exercise, which obviously you just can't be bothered doing any longer. But the other issue seems to be that they're not prepared to pay for the hours required to do the work as it needs to be done. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so a true hour is sort of irrelevant, really. They basically just allocate times that they want to. So they'll say it's going to take, 12 minutes to do this or this many minutes to do that. Like even to remove a bumper, I think is like $19 to take it off or something and put it back on. It's just crazy how low the costs are. And then if you want to get extra money, you have to say we remove the spotlight or the spotlight cover or badges to try and collect extra dollars. It's like playing Candy Crush or something to get points. It's ridiculously complicated. It's insane. So, and compare
them with the insurers that you are going to keep working with. So I'm looking at your Facebook postings. That's Vero, FMG Tower, AA. Yep. What's the difference?
Yep. So night and day. Basically, any repairer would say it's night and day. So like IAG are just consistently really difficult to deal with. I think a relationship, say for AA in particular, we're the only repairer for them in our region. They're really easy to get along with. They're really fair. If something crops up when we're doing the repair that's more complicated than anticipated, they'll say, oh, that's fair enough, that's fine, we'll pay for it. Well, in that similar situation, IAG typically would argue and say, that's going to be your cost, you didn't quote for it. But some stuff's unforeseeable. In an accident, you look at how a vehicle's damaged, you can't foretell every piece of damage inside it when you quote it before you start the job. So I mean, they're just unreasonable. They're not fair. And so that's where we're privileged. We're in a position where we can let them go, where most of the repairers can't. And I think if you look at why this has got so much attention from our Facebook post, we weren't intentionally attacking IAG, but most of the repairers that are stuck with them, they don't have the luxury of choice. They can't afford to walk away from them because they're too much of their workload. And basically it would break them walking away from IAG.
Hamish Gardyne. Now, IAG wouldn't be interviewed, but a spokesperson emailed us the following. Pour yourself a drink, it's quite long. IAG was sorry to hear the comments supplied to us by Checkpoint. During the past few months, as part of our regular accreditation process, we've asked suppliers for information which shows they're equipped, capable and compliant with health and safety regulations so they can take on the increasing number of repair jobs we receive. So far, more than 500 suppliers have indicated their interest in working with us. That's meant more time is required to finalise the process. We expect this will be completed by the end of this financial year. We run this process regularly as part of our broader commitment to keeping insurance affordable and maintaining health and safety compliance. We would like to discuss the matter further with this operator so we can better understand where they are coming from.